Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. A little bit later than I intended, but we have now got to the point where we can do it. It is Thursday, and so it is the Penny and Deirdre show. And again, once they stood to their feet, they have their little barbs at each other, and then Penny walks away the winner. Now, I will be completely fair and say that this week, Deirdre Brock actually managed to land a few, and that's fair enough. She's due a victory, isn't she? And so, yeah, a couple of the little jabs did hit home. But ultimately, at the end, you got to give it to Penny because her final words basically wiped the floor with Deirdre Brock. But we will take a look at it because it is always great fun to watch these two sparring away on a Thursday. And I do love it. It's the highlight of my week. But anyway, let's have a go. Here goes. So, Penny Mordaunt's nod to the Scottish Express as Deirdre Brock gets nasty at Westminster. Now, we've done the... I'll tell you what this is. We'll get there. But it's because of the Ipsos Mori poll. But Deirdre had a go at Penny. Penny's come back. And Deirdre, I think, won the early part of the contest, which we'll see. But just wait till the end. Penny is just magnificent. And I can't help it. She is. Anyway, the leader of the House of Commons referenced our story about the Scottish Government spending with a polling company, as she made a brutal jibe at the police investigations engulfing the SNP. And it is just, I can't help it. I'm smiling because I know what's coming. Anyway, I should be more serious. I should be more serious and professional about this, but it's hard, isn't it? Anyway, Penny Mordaunt gave a nod to the Scottish Express at Westminster on Thursday today as she batted aside an attack from Deirdre Brock at business questions. An irate Miss Brock had gotten personal as she called for a debate on Miss Mordaunt's Leader of the House role. She also asked for the cost of a State of the Union report compiled by the UK government during the COVID pandemic to be released. In a particularly nasty assault, Miss Brock also accused Miss Mordaunt of failing to answer her questions in previous jousts on the floor of the Commons, of chasing clickbait and on her personal YouTube channel, and of demeaning her office. Now, we do know that Penny does enjoy her channel. She does the things on her channel. And that's fine. That's up to her. And of course, clickbait is exactly what it is because you want people to watch. Of course, that's the whole thing. Roll up, come and see the funny little creatures, poke them with a stick and watch them jump. And that's what we do when we look to Westminster or to Holyrood. We want to keep poking these funny little creatures with a stick and we want to see them jump. And of course, that's what you do. So that's why people watch. It's what you see a Carney Barker, isn't it? Come and see the incredible fat lady. Come and see the pig man, and all that sort of thing. And that's the sort of thing you get in in Holyrood and the House of Commons. These are the kind of things. The freak show. It's a Victorian freak show, but that's fine. That's fine. We love the freak show that is politics. Anyway, despite referring to the government report as secret, Miss Brock claimed it included polling that was grim news for any remaining supporters of the Union. But Miss Mordaunt was unperturbed. And she referenced our story earlier in the week that the SNP Scottish Government has handed almost £5 million to the polling company Ipsos Mori in just 12 months. And that was, I think, either my first or my second story this morning. So we've already covered that actual story. But yeah, £5 million of taxpayer money for party political propaganda. Not good. Indeed, probably a crime. Anyway, Ipsos Mori has faced accusations of producing analysis that is biased towards the SNP, with their independence polling being almost 6% away from the mean in favour of the Nats. Miss Mordaunt told Miss Brock she can have a debate on the function of the Leader of the House every Thursday at approximately 10:30, which is, of course, when she turns up to wipe the floor with dear Deirdre. She said she hoped that it is a colleague's experience that when they ask me questions, I either furnish them with the answers, if it's about business of the House, or I follow up with the departments and write to them. Seems fair. That's her job. But she does take a little bit of pleasure in doing it, and especially with Deirdre, you know. Anyway, she joked that Miss Brock's questions were sometimes hard to fathom, adding, she asked me about a particular piece of polling, and I can certainly write to the Cabinet Office. She may kindly save me the trouble, and I would just send her letter to the Cabinet Office to the Honourable Lady, and that's absolutely fine. But it also comes in a week, she said, when the Scottish Government's own costs on polling have been exposed. And she went on to say that she hoped MPs would disagree with the Honourable Lady's assessment that I demean my office. Although she said that would, of course, would be high praise from the Scottish National Party. And as old did. And she did get those barbs in. I think she's gone away today. And she's gone, yes, I told her. And she'd probably be sitting up there at lunchtime, you know. She's quick gin and tonic, thinking, yes, I finally got one. But she won't, of course. She won't. Because at this point, she may have been thinking, that's what I'm going to do. But then, of course, Penny strikes back. And this is brilliant. In a nod to Operation Branchform, this is Penny Mordaunt now. In a nod to Operation Branchform, she added, whilst it may be true that if you live in a Labour area, you are 40% more likely to be the victim of a crime. I think if you're an SNP politician, you're probably 40% more likely to be investigated for one. Burn! Burn! Deirdre! Dearie me, Deirdre. You can't handle it, can you? And Deirdre, of course, had to go home, tail between her legs. Penny walks out magnificent, bestriding the Commons she's going to own. She's going to own. She owns Deirdre every Thursday, and I absolutely love it. And it is the best show. And of course, when she leaves the role of, you know, hopefully moving up, we're going to miss it, because it doesn't matter who comes after her. She's not going to have that same rapport. Her and Deirdre aren't going to be fencing like that as much. And I think that we will all miss. Anyway, there we go. Nice little one. It's been a cracking day, hasn't it? I mean, I've flown through these today and I'm just loving the stories. It's just been so good. Anyway, we shall round off there. I'll come up and we'll finish the video. I do hope the Penny and Deirdre show goes on much longer. Wouldn't it be funny if Deirdre ever became the leader of the SNP bloc at Westminster when Penny is Prime Minister? And then they could sit there and carry on every Wednesday at PMQs. Old Deirdre would get to her feet and then sit back down hastily, having been scorned yet again in what I am sure is becoming almost a girly love. You know, what's that? It's not. I don't mean lesbian or anything like that. It's just that sort of, you know, when two girls just hit it off like that. They just have that real close sort of antagonistic behaviour, but they end up really, really close friends. And I do think that that's going to happen. There's always a twinkle in the eyes, even, you know, both ways. It's like a bromance, but for girls. I don't know what you call that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll finish there. Thank you very much for watching. We'll move on to the last video of the day. But I mean, wow, what a day it has been, and it just gets better and better. And I'm just some days they just fall, don't they? They write themselves. Anyway, today's a good one. Thanks very much for watching. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.